Well, hello guys. Good evening. Happy Friday. Welcome back to our January week 3. Hello everyone. Wow, there's only 5 of you today. Hi Kaijun, hi Kaylin. Hi Mijun. And oh hi Rui, how are you? Hi Jingy. So there's only 5 of you. I kind of expected this lah, because they forgot got class ah. It's either that or they just don't feel like coming lah, because today my physical class only half came, and the half that came their hearts were not in it. They're just kind of floating around, right? Their minds were not in it. I kind of understand lah, because the holiday is a little bit weird because you are halfway through week 3 and then you got a break. Now you continue with week 3 again. After your holiday, you are like half dead already. All right. I can imagine your blue when you went back to school that day, isn't it? Right? When you started your school on Wednesday, right? The day you went back to your school, I figure the blue should be pretty intense, right? Especially if you have a really awesome Chinese New Year. I mean, this is the first normal New Year we had ever since the pandemic. All right. So everyone just kind of went crazy, and the more fun you had, the crazier it drops. All right. So anyway, we are going to go into a new chapter today, a new year today. In fact, oh shit. Oh damn it! I accidentally deleted something. Okay. Anyway, you know what? Let me reload the notes real quick. So yeah, let's go to form. Oh my god, I really want to teach something new today, but hey, everyone's not here, so you know what lah. I'm still gonna proceed with our new year lah. Okay, anyway, so today we are going to form 3. Like finally, right? Because last week before we left off, I kind of finished with our revision. So hey, your form 2 is officially done. Your form 2 is officially behind you by this class anyway. It's officially behind you. So you should not worry about Form 2 anymore. And Form 3 is what you should focus on from now onwards. Okay, so anyway, let's begin with our chapter 1. This is your Form 3 chapter 1. By the way, something about this Form 3 stuff lah. Form 3 will be an easier year compared to your Form 2 because there are less chapters to study, which is a good thing. And your Form 3 stuff is difficult in front. All right. Your chapter 1 to chapter 4 will be a little bit difficult. It will be a little bit technical. And starting from chapter 5 onwards, things will go easier as you go towards the middle of the year, which is a good thing. They let you focus on the difficult stuff beginning, and then they let you do the easy stuff after everything. Okay, so hi Chining, how are you? Happy Chinese New Year. Okay. We are in chapter 1, form 3. Okay, so let's begin with our human nervous system. You know what? I'm not gonna talk too much today, because next week, most likely I'm gonna repeat this thing for those rascals who didn't come. Right. So this is your human nervous system. Okay, what is your nervous system? This is your 神经系统, as in your nerves. Right? I want you to think like this. They are the wires in your body. Okay, went wrong class. Okay, which class did you go to? Right. So this is your electrical wires in your system, right? You see, when you touch a switch, light turns on, right? Because when you touch a switch, you send a signal to your light turns on. Right? Same goes to your computer. You type a letter on your keyboard sends a signal to your CPU, okay, which is the brain of a computer. And then your brain sends another signal to your screen, and your screen comes out with that letter, the letter you type. You get what I mean here? So your body is the same. You see, Your nervous system, they work the same way. When you touch a cup of hot water, let's say you touch a cup of hot water, your fingers, your skin will send a signal to your brain, your CPU. And your brain says, wow, this is really hot. And then your brain will send another signal to your muscle, and your muscle goes, woo. You withdraw your hand. You take your hand away from the danger. So you see, our body kind of works the same way as your computer. You give it an input, and your computer will give you an output. Your body will also give you an output. So this is our nervous system. This is the electrical system in our body. Yes, they do behave like electric because they do send out electric. Did you know this? Did you notice all the signals in your body, they are in the form of electricity? As in, yes, you have electricity running in your body to send signals, which is awesome. All right. Anyway, so this is your nervous system. So let's talk about your human nervous system. Our human nervous system has two parts. You have your central nervous system, Sistem Saraf Pusat. I'm just going to call it CNS in English. And you have your peripheral nervous system. We call it your PNS. All right, what does it mean? What does it mean by central? Central is the middle guy, is the central guy. If this thing stops working, whole thing will stop working. Right? Central what? Like you see, your PC, your computer, the most important thing is called the CPU. Oh, hey, penguins. Okay, you know what's the CPU? You know what is your CPU? If you open your casing, you have this chip inside running everything. This is your CPU. So CPU stands for Central Processing Unit. They process everything. They are the brain of your computer. If this thing doesn't run, your whole PC wouldn't turn on. Right? So same goes to here. We call it a central nervous system because they're the middle of everything. This is the backbone, the middle of everything. If this thing breaks down, then your whole thing will break down. And then what does it mean by peripheral? What's the peripheral of your computer? Your mouse is a peripheral. Your keyboard is a peripheral. Your monitor is a peripheral. Your speaker is a peripheral. That means without them, your PC can still switch on. Right? It's just that you have some nuisance, okay? Certain things doesn't work. But it still switches on. Same thing here. If your central nervous system works, but your peripheral nervous system doesn't, okay, maybe one nerve spoils here, maybe you cannot lift your arm, your left arm. That's all. That's all. Okay, your everything still runs as normal because your CNS is still functioning well. All right. So that's the difference between your CNS and your PNS. Right, your central nervous system and your peripheral nervous system. Okay. Okay. Hello, Ariana. How are you? Nice to see you. You didn't attend my class last 2 weeks, right? So we are in Form 3, We're in Form 3, So this is your CNS, central nervous system, and then you have your PNS, your peripheral nervous system. All right? Okay, let's talk about your central nervous system, the middle guy, which is here. So your central nervous system has two parts, which is your brain, okay, your otak, and then you have your spinal cord. Spinal cord is this main big cable running down all the way, which is your backbone here. It runs all the way down to your buttock. Okay, so this is one of the main nerve. So these two things, they make up the central nervous system, the most important part of the nervous system. And then all these splitting out nerves, all these, can you see all these small wire, all these small nerves, they are called your cranial nerve and your spinal nerve. These are called your PNS. PNS, peripheral nervous system. They are the side ones. Not to say they are not important, but they are less important. If let's say there's one nerve here, if this thing breaks, maybe you cannot lift your finger. One finger. You cannot move your finger. That's all. All right. Guys, before I move on, okay, let me say something. Nerve cell, they do not regrow. Okay, let me say this again. Nerve cells, they do not regrow. Okay, what do I mean? Let's say this is your skin. Okay, your skin will regrow. What do I mean? If you accidentally cut yourself today, you'll see blood, right? Your skin is bleeding, right? But after a few weeks, the bleeding stops obviously, and then after a few weeks, right, you will see your skin, they just start to recover already. Why? Because your skin regrows. Okay, tumbuh semula, 重新生回, the thing just regrow. But you see, nerve cells, they don't regrow. Nerve cells, they can never regrow. If you happen to break one of your nerve, they will not regrow. Right? This is why if you have brain damage, the brain damage is forever. They will not regrow. Your brain doesn't just regrow, right? Which has a bad point and a good point. The bad point is if your nerve cells break, that's it. Right? That's it. If you damage any nerve, it's an irreversible damage. It's a permanent damage. You cannot go back, right? But the good thing is, since they don't grow, right, they will not have cancer. Right? You see, do you have skin cancer? Yes, you do. Skin cancer happens when your skin cell just grows crazily without stopping. But you see, nerve cell, they don't grow. So you don't have nerve cancer cell. That's why you have heard of skin cancer, you have heard of lung cancer, you have heard of what else? Pancreatic cancer, stomach cancer, intestine cancer. Have you heard of nerve cancer? No, right? There's no such thing as nerve cancer because nerve cell they don't regrow. So you don't hear nerve cancer before. All right. So this is your nervous system, right? Again, so you have your central nervous system, the middle guy, which is your brain and the spinal cord, and then you have your peripheral nervous system, which is the side guy. This is the main branch. This is the small branches. If you get what I mean, this is the headquarter. Okay, but if your body change size, what do you mean change size? Oh, you mean your body grows bigger? Okay, guys, as you grow bigger, okay, fun fact, guys, you are born with a set amount of brain cell when you're a baby. Okay, you have the same number of brain cell until the day you die. Right? In fact, up to 1 to 2 million of brain cells will die every day. Did you know that? You will lose brain cells every day, especially if you do very difficult stuff. If you think a lot today, let's say you do a lot of maths today, you will kill even more brain cells. Right? But that is not an excuse. Oh, sir, since you say maths will kill brain cells, right? So I'm not going to do maths again. Okay? Yes, sejarah too. Don't use this as an excuse because you have trillions of it. You have quintillion, trillions of brain cells. You have plenty to spare, okay? And guys, the number of brain cells have no relationship with intelligence, okay? Whether you are smart or not, it's not about your brain cells. It's about the connection of the brain cell. The more connected your brain cells are, the smarter you become. It has nothing to do with the number, right? If the number is everything, then a baby will be smarter than you. A baby has more brain cells than you. Are they smarter than you? No, they are not. Because yes, they have a lot of brain cells, but they are not connected. So it is not relevant, right? So whether you are smart or not, it depends on the connection. You go watch those Mum Essential advertisement. Those milk powder advertisement. They say, the better your child's nerve cells connected, the smarter they become. Drink my milk powder. They will make your nerve cell connect very well. Of course, they say that they want you to buy their milk powder. They want you to buy their baby formula. Of course, they say that, right? So this is your CNS, okay, your brain. Your brain is a very awesome organ, guys. Okay, I'll talk about that later. So this is your nervous system. So as you can see here, you have 12 pairs of cranial nerve. Okay, not important, just to let you know, that connects the brain with the sensory organ and the internal organ. Okay, and then you have 31 pairs of spinal nerve. As you can see, your nerve is a very complicated organ. Okay, let me show you something. Okay, this is your spinal cord. Okay, let me show you your spinal cord. Okay, a dissect. This is your spinal cord. Look at this. Okay, can you see all the side branches? Those are the small nerves. The middle one is the main nerve, the main spinal cord. Beautiful, isn't it? So pretty, right? So if you were to dissect someone, this is what you will see. Okay, so this is your nerve, right? So if you break a nerve, you have no chance of recovering it. Okay, what do I mean? If today I chop off your arm, your hand, if I chop off your hand, if you bring your severed hand, your chopped hand, you go to the hospital, can you please sambung this back for me? They can reattach everything. They can reattach the muscle, they can reattach the bone, they can reattach the skin, but not the nerve, right? Once the nerve is cut off, once the nerve is damaged, it is forever damaged, right? That means you can join back your arm lah. You cannot control it anymore. It just looks like a normal arm, but you lose the ability to control it because the wire is already putus. You get what I'm trying to say here, guys? Okay, are you guys with me? Are you guys still with me? Okay, you get what I'm trying to say here? This is just the intro, guys. Okay, this is just the intro. So what's the function of the nervous system? Okay, what's the function? So number one is to detect stimuli. Okay, please highlight this word. Okay, stimuli. What is a stimuli? Do you know what's a stimulus? In BM, it's called rangsangan. Okay, rangsangan. In Mandarin, it's called 刺激. You know what is 刺激? Light is a stimulus. Light. Okay, sound. Chemical substance. Okay, when you smell, it's chemical substance. Chemical substance in your taste. Touch. These are stimulus. When I switch on the light in your room, it's a stimulus. When I shout at you, it's a stimulus. Okay, this is stimulus. That means the message from your surrounding is a stimulus. Okay, so the nervous system, the first job is to detect stimulus. Second job is to send information in the form of nerve impulse. Okay, this is called impulse. Sarah, please highlight this. Very, very important. So what is nerve impulse? The electric signal. Again, the electric signal. Yes, like I said, your body carries electric, as in real electric, not just an analogy. No, this is real, legit electric. You have electric in your body. Okay, that's why when you get electric shock, you die. Okay, because there's too much electric. So the electric is called nerve impulse. That's the electric signal, right? When you touch, like I said, when you touch something hot, your finger will send a signal to your brain. The signal is called nerve impulse. Okay, as in real electric. And then next is to interpret the impulse. Your brain is to interpret everything. What is interpret? Interpret means to mentafsir. Now, please change this in BM if your BM knows is wrong, because this is the correct word, mentafsir. What is mentafsir? Means to process. Your brain needs to process the information. Okay, like when your friend scolds you, you will process the thing. And then your brain says, okay, now you're really sad, please cry. Then you cry. Okay, so your brain needs to interpret something, right? Guys, your brain and my brain, everyone's brain interprets things differently. Okay, let me ask you guys, do you like cilantro or coriander? Okay, there's two names for it. You know coriander, you know cilantro, 香菜. Any of you hate that? Okay, cilantro. Now, this is a very funny vegetable. Some, they hate it with their ever-living passion, but some, they love it. Oh my God, I love this. Is it Frank correct? Okay. Or Kenny, you hate this? Okay. You see? Okay, for those who think this tastes bad, let me ask you something. Does it taste like soap to you? Because people tell me, if this thing tastes bad to you, it tastes like soap, as in sabun. It's like you eat sabun with this thing. Okay. Oh my God, I love this thing. Right? If I go steamboat, right, if they have this thing, I'm just gonna flood my bowl with this thing. Okay, cilantro. This is a very, very controversial vegetable. It's either you hate it or you love it. Right? I see our brain interprets things differently. Okay, what is fragrant for me, okay, but might be very disgusting for you. Like, any of you here like the smell of petrol? Because I do. I really like that petrol station smell. Okay, call me crazy, but ever since I was a kid, I just find petrol nice. Okay, I love smelling petrol. I know it sounds crazy, but yeah, okay, see, I really get me. You see, people call me crazy, like, how the hell can you smell petrol? But it smells nice, right? Hey, my sister is even weirder. My sister likes the longkang smell. You know those big longkang with the fermented smell. You walk past, there's the heat coming up one. Oh, she loves that smell. Wow, that one I cannot accept, right? But for her, she loves it, right? And some people they tell me you took seriously okay. Some people they tell me the freshly cut grass, some longkang is fragrant. No longkang is fragrant, okay. So some people they like the freshly cut grass smell. The one I also cannot. You know, people who cut grass, right? After they cut grass, it has that smell. No. Right? You see, now everyone process things differently. Some might be okay. Any of you like smelly tofu? Grass blood. It's not blood lah. Any of you love smelly tofu? I cannot deal with that. Smelly tofu and durian is big no. Durian even, okay? I might get a lot of hate for this, but durian is my sworn enemy. I cannot accept durian, and I will never accept durian. Big no. Right? I mean, yeah, it could be you might say, oh my God, sir, what abomination. How can you hate durian? I tried loving it, okay? Because everyone says I'm crazy for not loving it. I tried, but it just doesn't love me back, okay? Don't know. I just hate durian. I tried before. I just don't like it. It's disgusting. How can fruits be slimy? Right? It's like eating snot. Right? It's like I get my snot out and I eat it. The texture is like that. I can never accept that. Hey, if you think durian is bad, tempoyak is even worse, right? I never knew about tempoyak until my wife told me that. Okay, anyone of you know what is tempoyak? You know what is tempoyak? That is the absolute worst. Okay, you know tempoyak. Arina, you know what is tempoyak? Yes, it's fermented durian. Oh my God. Okay, sorry, wrong typo here. Okay, as if durian is not bad enough, they decide to ferment this thing. Awesome. Hey, durian is smelly enough. Let's make it smellier. Ew. Why would you the hell is wrong with these people? Why would you ferment durian? You see? Okay, maybe it's very good for you, okay? But I don't get it. It's disgusting. Right? I mean, like I say, everyone process food different. Everyone process things differently. Like my mama, she eats durian with rice. What the hell? What in the serious fuck? Why would you do that? She eats durian with rice, as in nasi. She eats it like nasi lemak. You see, I can never understand. Rice is rice, durian is durian. Would you eat apple with rice? No, you don't. So same thing. I see, it's the old generation thing. It's the old generation thing. I swear, nobody has done this before. One like my mom eat it together. Like you like durian, but not durian product. Why le? Why le? Is it not the same? Rice and ew, ew, disgusting. That means nasi lemak with durian lah. Cause santan what? Coconut santan what? That means santan rice with durian. That's nasi lemak with durian lah. Allow me to throw up, please. Ew. Big ew. Santan add on top. As in the onde santan. You put it on top. Oh my God, kill me, please. Okay. Anyway, so as I was saying, okay, so interpret is a different thing. Okay. What sounds like music to you might be a noise for someone. Right? So it's like you see, everyone interprets things differently. So that's the beauty about our nervous system. Okay. Next, enables our body to respond to change. Okay. So next is a respond. Okay. This is to bergerak balas. Okay, to bergerak balas. So when you respond to something, that is a response lah. Okay, to bergerak balas. Okay, so as you can see, these are keywords. These are keywords. Your nervous system is to receive stimuli, to send nerve impulse, to process, to interpret this thing, and to produce response. Right? Which brings me to my next point. Okay, which brings me to my next point. Okay, can you see voluntary and involuntary here? This is called tindakan terkawal and tindakan luar kawal. Okay, what is this? Do you know what is voluntary action? Do you know what is voluntary? Okay, voluntary action, they are actions that is done with consciousness. 有认知的,有知觉的, you do it with consciousness. That means you know what you are doing. That is your voluntary action. Let's say slapping your friend. Okay, slapping. Your thinking, memory, emotions, sight, hearing, smelling, touching, walking, running, anything with your consciousness, that is a voluntary action. All right. So, and then involuntary action are actions that you cannot control. Like you see, breathing, blood pressure, heartbeat, food digestion, peristalsis, changing the size of your pupil, your reflex action. These are involuntary. Okay, things you cannot control. Right. So let's talk about voluntary. Okay. So how voluntary action works is the same way as what we say just now. You see, remember your stimulus, stimuli. Stimuli is plural lah. This is singular. So stimulus, when you hear a phone, okay, the sound is a stimulus. All right. And then on your fingers, or inside your eyes, in your ears, in your nose, in your mouth, there are something called receptors. Okay, please highlight this word, receptor. BM is also called receptor. I want you to think of them as sensors. You know what are sensors? You know what is a reverse sensor? I'm sure your dad's car has this. You know what's a reverse sensor? When he's reversing his car, when it's almost touching the wall, you can hear the beep, 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 beep sound. That's a sensor lah, right? And if your car is quite modern, I'm sure you have a rain sensor. When it starts to rain, your wiper will start to automatically wipe. And then you have a headlight sensor. When it's nighttime, your headlight will automatically switch on. Right? And then you have the blind spot sensor. When you want to turn your car and then there's a car behind you, okay, they will sound an alarm. So that's a sensor. So inside your fingers, you have all these sensors. Your eye has a light sensor. Okay, your nose has smell sensor. Your tongue has taste sensor. And then your ear has sound sensor. So all these sensors, we call them receptors. Okay, so you have your light receptors, smell receptor, taste receptor, sound receptor, touch receptor, right? So what's the receptor's job? A receptor's job is to translate the stimulus into nerve impulse. To translate. Why need to translate? Because you see, if this is your phone ringing, I immediately pass the sound to your brain. Your brain cannot understand. Your brain doesn't speak sound. Okay? Nerve impulse is the only language you understand. Right? If your eye sense light signal, your ear sense sound signal, your nose and your mouth sense chemical signal, your skin sense touch signal, your brain cannot understand any of it. Your brain can only understand nerve impulse. So your receptor's job is to turn this, is to translate everything, every stimulus into nerve impulse, which is the electric signal, remember? Okay, this is electric, and then they will send it to your brain. Then your brain will interpret. Your brain will mentafsir. It will try to process, and then it will send out another nerve impulse to your effector. So who is your effector? The one that gives you response, like your muscle. Your muscle, when you touch hot water, your muscle will draw your hand away, right? That's your effector, because it gives you response. Right? Can you see all these things you memorized just now? Okay, stimuli, nerve impulse, interpret, respond. Same thing, you see, stimulus, receptor, interpret, nerve impulse, effector, respond. So this pathway you need to memorize. Not really memorizing, isn't it? So simple, isn't it? Okay, you receive something. This is the message you receive. Okay, this is the receptor, the fellow who receive, and then it translates this into electric signal, send it to your brain. Your brain will think, send it back out to the effector, and then you will produce response. Bergerak balas. Simple? Simple? You see, this is really easy to understand. Okay? Really easy. So this is your voluntary action. Okay, this is a voluntary action. Right, let's talk about involuntary action. They work the same way. They work the same way. It's just that they don't go to the brain. Okay, they don't go to the brain. Okay, guys, please draw something for me. Please draw something for me. Okay, please draw me a circle like this. Then you draw something like this. Then you draw another thing like this. Okay, it looks weird, okay? But please draw this first. Right? So please draw this. Okay, what is this, by the way? What is this, by the way? So this is your cerebrum. Okay, cerebrum. In Mandarin, this is called your 大脑. Okay, the major part of the brain, this is your cerebrum. Okay, your cerebrum. So your cerebrum is the center for voluntary action. All right, that means the stimulus will be sent to your cerebrum. Anything that is voluntary, you dancing, singing, talking, this is your cerebrum processing it. And then this behind fella, the smaller brain, we call it a hindbrain, or we call it a cerebellum. Okay, cerebellum. This is called your 小脑, small brain. This is your big brain, right? Many people, they will make this mistake. They say, oh, sir, big brain do voluntary, right? That means the small brain will do involuntary. Is that right? No. Small brain, they will do balance. Your hind brain, this smaller brain here, they are for your balancing. So if you learn ballet, right, or if you learn figure skating, you just go woo like that. That's your sense of balance doing its job. Your cerebellum doing its job, right? Nothing to do with involuntary. So who is the job of involuntary? This guy. Okay, this guy. This thing is what we call your spinal cord. Okay, by the way, this part here has two parts. Okay, this thing has two parts. The top part here, okay, the bigger part, we call it medulla oblongata. Whoa, sir, what is this? Okay, so you have to memorize this. Okay, you have no choice. This thing is called your medulla oblongata. And then the bottom part here, this is called your spinal cord. Okay, in BM, it's called saraf tunjang. Saraf tunjang. In BM, this spells exactly the same. It's also called medulla oblongata. Okay, so medulla oblongata and then spinal cord. Right, so these two, their job is for involuntary. Involuntary. So your cerebrum will do voluntary. Your medulla and your spinal cord will do involuntary. Right? So you might say, sir, why can't just they do the same thing? Why need to separate to two parts there? Because you see, medulla, they do not so important because they're smaller, right? They're smaller, but you see spinal cord is very long. So spinal cord is for a more important involuntary. You get what I'm trying to say here? Involuntary has important ones and not important ones. So the not important ones, we leave it for the smaller guy, which is this medulla. So you see, medulla oblongata, they do all the small involuntary. You see, breathing, blood pressure, heartbeat, food digestion, peristalsis, changing size of pupil. You must say, sir, this is not important, man. Important, but they are not urgent. They are not emergency. Because you see, your spinal cord is only for emergency. What is that emergency action called? It's called reflex action. Tindakan reflex. Okay, guys, what is this? Anyone wants to explain what is reflex action? Anyone? Anyone? Do you know what is reflex action? Can you give me an example of reflex action? Hello? Anyone? Like twitching? Not really. Not really. Gag reflex. Okay, I like that. I like the answer. Yes. Do you know what is gag reflex? Okay, gag reflex is when you choke, you feel like vomiting. Okay, so what is reflex action? In Mandarin, this is called 反射性动作. 反射性动作. Tindakan reflex. Okay, what is this? This is the action you do when you're avoiding danger. All right. Say if I'm in front of you now, I throw a knife towards you. What will you do? if there's a knife spinning towards you, okay, do you just stand there and say, oh my God, there's a, okay, no, you don't, right? Okay, you just, right? You just siam the thing, okay? You just avoid the thing, right? Without telling you one, okay? You don't need to think like, okay, there's a knife coming. If I don't avoid this knife, might hurt me. You don't think like that. You just imagine, you just immediately do this, right? So this is what we call reflex action. This is why you might say, sir, why is this thing so important? This is to avoid danger. When you're avoiding danger, you don't think. Immediately you do it, right? Case in point, you are doing your homework, yeah lah, that one movie lah, okay, movie got time one, movie, you watch, Looney Tunes, you know lah, you won't drop until you start looking down. It makes no sense, right? Okay, anyway, so you see, your reflex action is really important to avoid danger. Bollywood is even worse, right? Yes, exactly. 5 seconds to 10 minutes. Okay, reflex action is like a split moment thing. Okay, imagine you're doing homework, someone tickles your ketiak from behind, immediately you jump up and maybe you slap the fella, right? So reflex, or what else? Or even if you are doing homework, I use a piece, I use a feather and I tickle your ear, you immediately do this. Okay? I mean, sometimes your friend will prank you like that one. So that's a reflex. So you see, reflex requires no thinking. That's why they only go to your spinal cord. They have no time to go to the top. Because you see, when I go to the top, it takes 1 second already. But reflex, it's like a 0.1 second thing. Like, poop, you do. Right? So that's why this whole spinal cord is only for reflex. Only for reflex, because reflex is very important. This medulla is like, okay lah, quite important lah, but not as urgent. You see, breathing, you don't breathe for 1 second, you won't die one. But if you slow down by 1 second because of the reflex, you can die, right? If there's a car coming at you, you don't even have 1 second. You need like 0.1, you have to jump away. So you see, reflex is very important. So you see, your cerebrum is for voluntary, your cerebellum is for balance, your medulla oblongata and your spinal cord is for involuntary, luar kawal, which this is for the not so important one. This is for the very important one. I should play Bondi. Everyone is playing it, right? What's the catch? What's the fun? Yeah, I mean, what's the fun? What's the fun? I see everyone is playing it. Is it a reaction game? Those fast reaction game? Okay, is it like that? Okay. Oh, you know what's a reaction game? You know what's a reaction game? You remember Flappy Bird? Flappy Bird, test this. It's a freaking stupid game, right? I almost broke my phone. Okay, I'll check it out. Okay. Anyway, so this is your spinal cord. Okay, I have a question. How do doctors test whether your spinal cord has any damage? Okay, let's say now you fell down from a motorcycle. You fell down from a motorcycle. The doctor is concerned whether you injured your nerve. They will do a test, a very simple test to test whether your reflex is working. How? Everyone has seen this before. It's a very simple test. How do they test? Slap you. Why? See if I will slap back? No. Not so violent. Less violent. What will the doctor do? They will ask you to sit on a chair one. And what's the test? Yes. Okay, we call it a knee-jerk reaction. Right? So they will knock your knee. Okay. If your knee, okay, they didn't write it here. Okay, if I knock your, okay, let's say this is the knee lah. I have my own knee. Why am I using my hand? Okay, this is your knee, right? So if they knock this thing here, if your leg goes boop, okay, it goes up like that. That means your nerve is normal. There's no nerve damage, right? Because if I knock your knee, if your leg gives me a response, that means your reflex is working well. Okay, and this thing won't hurt you. All right. So, guys, have you noticed this? Whenever a patient is dying, okay, when a patient is dead, what will the doctors do? they will pull up the eyelid and then they will shine a light through it, right? Do you know why? Do you know why? Have you seen this before? You watch those no, I mean after maybe CPR also cannot already lah. Okay, if a patient is certified dead, they will usually pull up the eyelid, they will shine a light through it. Okay, never knew why, right? Okay, very good. So you see, you will learn this, you will learn your eyes next week. Okay, this is your iris. Okay, let me show you. Okay, your iris. Okay, it looks really okay. If you zoom into your iris, by the way, it looks like this. Wow, so pretty, isn't it? Okay, so yes, this looks like the pupil. If I shine a light, okay, let's say you're unconscious, you just fainted, you're not dead. If I shine a light into your eyes, your iris will move, right? If your iris moves, that means your brain is still alive, right? But if I shine a light through your eyes, if your iris is not moving, that means your brain is dead. Your brain is dead. Okay, that means you are dead, lor. At least your brain is dead, lah. At least your brain is dead. So this is how they test whether you are dead or not, by shining a light through your pupil. I'll talk about this next week, okay? Anyway, so this is how your nerve works, lah. Okay, very very interesting stuff, huh? Okay, so let me summarize everything again, huh? So your cerebrum, or we call it the brain, this is for voluntary. Cerebellum is for balance. I mean, they won't ask this in exam, but your medulla oblongata, your medulla oblongata and your spinal cord is for involuntary, but this is for the less important stuff. This is for the more urgent stuff, right? Spinal cord is more important for urgent stuff. Okay, so this is your nervous system. Okay, one more thing. Guys, do you know that your cerebrum has many parts? Okay, let's talk about your cerebrum. Okay, your cerebrum parts and their function, right? Do you know your cerebrum is separated into many parts? Okay, like you see here, you have the frontal lobe, you have the temporal lobe, you have the parietal lobe, and you have the occipital lobe. If I'm not mistaken, frontal lobe is more for feelings. Okay, let me search parts and functions. Yeah, there, you see. Right, you see your frontal lobe, your frontal lobe is more for problem solving. You see, emotional trait. When you fall in love, it's the frontal lobe that tells you you really like this person, right? So technically speaking, if I were to do surgery and remove your frontal lobe, you will lose any ability to feel love. Technically speaking, if you are inhumane enough to do this experiment, you catch someone, you kidnap someone and you remove their frontal lobe, they should have zero ability to feel love or any friendship or any love feelings. They will lose the ability to have feelings. They will just be a robot, technically speaking. Okay. Anyway, so that's your frontal lobe, and then your temporal lobe. Okay, and then your brain stem is your medulla oblongata, and then you see your cerebellum is for balance. You see, and then your occipital lobe is for vision. Okay, parietal lobe is for your reading, sensation, knowing things from right to left, body orientation. They won't die. I don't know. Okay, I'm not a neurosurgeon, so I don't know. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. Okay, so how do they know this? How do they know this? Very simple. You know what's an MRI machine? You know what's an MRI machine? So they ask the patient to sleep inside the MRI machine. If they ask them certain questions, like if they ask them about maths, if the part of the brain glows up, that's the part that's responsible for the function. You see? Very interesting, right? Very interesting. Okay, like you know what's the hippocampus? Hippocampus? Not hippopotamus, sorry. Hippocampus. This is the part in your brain that's responsible for memory. Okay? And they kind of look like a seahorse. Okay? This small little bag in your brain is fully responsible for memory. Right? So why do you hate sejarah so much? Maybe your hippocampus is not it's not liking it. Okay? It's not that you have bad memory. You don't memorize things that you don't like. Right? You don't memorize things you don't like. Like you see, I love sejarah a lot. So studying sejarah for me is effortless. right? But if you really hate something, you can't memorize it. I mean, guys, please don't tell me you have bad memory. Yeah, you don't. Because those, okay, if you're a K-pop fan, I'm sure you can memorize all the groups and you know every member, right? Like if you're a fan of, let's say, Twice, you know every one of them and you know what's their function in the group, or who's the rapper, who's the visual of the group, who's the main vocal. Who say your memory is bad? You are not. It's just you hate that thing, so you can't memorize it, right? I have a student tell me, sir, I really hate sejarah. I cannot one. I'm born with bad memory. Wow, but you ask her K-pop stuff, she can memorize everything. See, this is called selective bad memory. If you go physical, can you get free ice cream? Yeah, I can I can belanja you if you want. That's a weird question to ask, really. Okay, is memory ability same with everyone? There are some variety. Okay, talking about brain. Okay, do you know how we measure your brain? There are two quotient that we can measure. Okay, one is called the intelligence quotient, in short IQ, and then there's one more. What is it called? There's one more. One is IQ. What's the other one? I'm sure all of you heard of it. Yes, very good. That's your emotional quotient. In short, we call it EQ, right? Intelligence quotient, or IQ, determines how smart you are, right? But don't be mistaken. Don't go and do some stupid online IQ test and say, oh, my IQ is this and that and this and that. Okay, if you do, because I have some students telling me, sir, I did that test, right? I'm IQ 80 something. Am I stupid? No, you see, IQ, you have IQ in reasoning, problem solving. What if you're bad here, but you have very good IQ in music? Are you stupid? No, you're not. It's just that your IQ is good in another section, right? You are good in music, but you're not so good in reasoning or problem solving. Doesn't mean you're stupid. No, you're not stupid. You have high IQs too. Would you say that Mozart have bad IQ? Right? He's not good at studying what, but he's freaking awesome in music. He has very high musical IQ, right? So IQ, intelligence is not a very single thing. You have so many types of intelligence. You have reasoning intelligence, you have mathematical intelligence, you have spatial intelligence, you have time intelligence. So many types of intelligence. But for me, I think this is more important. Guys, high EQ is more important than higher IQ. You wouldn't want to befriend someone who has high IQ and low EQ, because that person is very smart, but he's very emotional. Right? Do you want a girlfriend or a boyfriend who has low EQ? No, you will have a very tiring life. He or she will always throw tantrum, and their emotion is like roller coaster. 1 minute he's very happy, and then the next moment he's throwing tantrum like, you don't love me anymore. And then he starts crying. Oh my God. Right? Why is your father like that? God man, maybe he's just stressed like it. Okay, so people with low EQ very hard one. Very hard one. Trust me lah. Next time if your significant other your girlfriend or boyfriend if he or she has low EQ you will suffer a lot. Okay, you will be like, oh my God, what do you want now? Because they cannot control the emotion. They cannot control the emotion well. They will pour all their negativity to you. Cannot tahan. Your father very emotional, is it? Because usually emotion is a very girl thing. Because usually a boyfriend and a girlfriend, right? Usually it's the girl being emotional, which is understandable because you guys have the hormones, right? Your estrogen and your progesterone just makes you crazy. Okay, I'll talk about the hormones next time. But the hormones makes you crazy, right? Girls are just freaking crazy. Every girl is crazy. It just depends on how crazy you are, right? Right? Next time you understand one. Your as a guy, your my wife is freaking crazy one. You ask her, she will admit one. Okay, my wife will suddenly ask me things like, B, if I one day if I turn, she will ask me stupid random question like, if I turn into a snake, will you still love me? Like, How do you want me to answer that? How do you want me to answer that? Okay, if I say yes, then is okay. You see, if let's say my wife tells me like, oh, I saw a girl in the gym just now. She looks just like you. So is she pretty? Should I say or should I say yes or should I say no? What should I say? You see, it's death either way. You see, yeah, I mean, exactly. You see, next time, your apply, she will take that for an answer. You see, girls they are crazy. Girls usually have lower EQ than guys because guys are usually the logical one. Okay, I don't know lah. In your family, usually is your dad being the logical one. Okay, if you ask your dad, dad, can I go out with my friend? He will say no and he will explain to you. Okay, why no? Because daddy thinks that she's bad influence, okay? She's not good for you. You should hang out with her less, okay? Ever since you hang out with her, your result got worse, okay? So I think that it's not reasonable for you to hang out with her. You see, your dad usually gives you a very reasonable answer, but your mom, no. You ask your mom, ma, can I go out with her? No. Why? If I say no means no. That's what my mom tells me every time. No means no. Yes, no explanation. Huh. If you ask for a reason, that's called fighting back. Right, right. So you cannot talk logic with girls. It doesn't work like that. Trust me, next time you know. Next time you know. This is how our brain works. Okay, I'm not being sexist here, but according to biology and according to hormones, girls you don't reason with them. Guys, yes, okay. Guys, we have higher EQ than girls. Okay, that's just how it works, right? Okay, if next time if you are more reasonable than your boyfriend as a girl if you are more reasonable, you're more logical than your boyfriend. If your boyfriend is more emotional than you can safely ask him this question: Why are you gay? Right? Why are you gay? You should be more reasonable than me. Okay? So why are you gay? Okay? You know this meme? You know this meme? You know this meme? Why are you gay? Okay? You can ask your boyfriend this. He should be the reasonable one. You should be the crazy one. Right? Guys, this is what I've observed so far. The more attractive a girl is, the crazier she is. Okay, I'm not lying. Okay, this is what Barney from How I Met Your Mother said. It's called a hot crazy scale. Okay, it's called a hot crazy scale. The more attractive you are, the crazier you are. Okay, so next time as a guy, you are going for a very hot girl, make sure you can handle her. She's batshit crazy. All attractive girls, they are batshit crazy. Trust me, speaking from experience. Speaking from experience, okay, if she's very attractive, when she throws tantrum, you are dead. Okay, you are dead. Okay, don't you ever tell her. Okay, if she's asking you, what should we eat today? Please do not ever tell her, I don't know. Why don't you decide? You're asking for trouble. Okay, this is how you die. Right? So you can look at this scale. See, it's called hot crazy scale. The hotter she is, the crazier she is. You see, and then there's the date zone and the fun zone. And then there's you see, wife zone is when she is very hot, but she's less crazy. Oh, you should marry her. Okay, you should marry her. Okay, if she's not so hot, like she's a number 4, but she's a number 10 crazy, she's a no go. Okay, you're already so ugly. Why are you so crazy? Oh shit, I did not just say that. Okay. Anyway. Okay. Right. So this is your cerebrum and your cerebellum. Okay. I mean, this is not coming up for exam. This is coming up for exam, but this is not. So I'm just telling you for fun. Yes, I'm dead. Cancel. Don't cancel me. I'm just speaking the truth. I'm just the messenger. Okay, anyway, so you know what? I think I'm gonna stop here today lah. So okay, today I'm not doing something heavy because next week, okay, the the crazy part about this chapter is when you study the eyes, and yes, look at all these parts, right? Sir, don't you tell me we have to memorize everything? Yes, you do. Okay, and then when you go to your ear, what is your long sightedness and short sightedness? Okay, and then when you go to your ear, oh my God, sir, don't you tell me? Yes, you are correct. Everything. Okay, and then you have your nose, and then you have your tongue. All right, our tongue is very interesting. Tongue is very interesting. Have you heard of umami? Have you heard of umami? Have you heard of umami? You know what is MSG? You know what's MSG? Hiya, Uncle Roger say you must have MSG. Where is your MSG? Where? Hiya, then MSG. Umami. Okay, I'll talk about this next time. Okay, and of course, and you have your skin. Okay, so where is spicy? Spicy is hot. Good question. Spicy is hot. Spicy is not a taste, it's a sensation. It's a hot sensation. I'll talk about this next time. Okay, very interesting chapter. Okay, you know what, guys? I will stop here for now. Okay, so I hope you learned something new today. Okay, we had a fun class, isn't it? Okay, so I will continue with this next Friday lah. Okay, so next Friday, please come with a conscious mind, because next week we'll be going to the eyes. Spicy is pain and hot, pain and hot. Okay, so have a good night. I will see you next week. Okay, happy Friday. See you next week. Good night. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye.